Hi and welcome. I'm trying to learn space science, today asteroids and meteoroids, and after we've done it, I'm gonna do ECU tendon training, the extensor carpi radialis, extensor carpi ulnaris tendon. That is here, and if you participate in that is it honest. But before we go into asteroids and meteoroids, I'm going to show you first look at it. We're going to read the little section before it. Could a meteoroid land in my garden? Meteoroids could land in your garden, but most of them are tiny. Okay, we're saying there is a chance that such a meteoroid lands in someone's garden, but they are very tiny. Some of the dust in your garden comes from outer space, but it won't leave craters on your lawn. Okay, there can be dust lying around, and some of that dust could be actually from space. But it doesn't leave craters, such dust from outer space. And that's a good thing that it doesn't leave craters. Because large meteoroids make craters about 20 times bigger around than they are. 20 times bigger around than they are. So if there's something a meter big, it makes a 20 meter large crater. If there's something 10 centimeters wide, it makes a 2 meter crater. So it's good that this dust doesn't make a crater. So yes, technically a meteor could land in someone's garden, but it's very unlikely that a meteor does it. There is it's dust lying, and that could be impartial from outer space, but it doesn't leave any craters like a meteoroid. So basically, yes, technically possible, but no. The journey from asteroid to meteoroid. An asteroid is a rocky or icy chunk in space. So one thing is in space. One thing. First thing, the asteroid. Next thing is a meteoroid. That is a small or broken asteroid piece. So it's first an asteroid, and that is a chunk. And meteoroid is just smaller. It's a smaller broken asteroid piece. They said something similar here. What is an asteroid? What is the asteroid belt? A small lump of rock that's moving through space, but is smaller than an asteroid, is known as meteoroid. It seems to be that a meteoroid is just smaller. I have another idea. What if an asteroid, like this one, is one of these things in the asteroid belt? And the difference between asteroid and meteoroid is not only that it is smaller, but that it is one of them who are nudged out of a belt and are zooming towards the sun. No, I'm going to read that part again so that we know what we're talking about. What is the asteroid belt? The asteroid belt is a region of space between Mars and Jupiter, so a bit further away from the Sun than the Earth. And this region, this asteroid belt around the Sun, is full of orbiting rubble, left over from when the solar system was forming. Sometimes one of these space rocks, or asteroids, is nudged out of a belt and goes zooming towards the Sun. A small lump of rock that's moving through space, but is smaller than an asteroid, is known as a meteoroid. Now we are right now trying to find the difference between asteroids and meteoroids. And one thing is they are small, but the other thing is, what if these asteroids, they seem to be pretty fixed in this asteroid belt around the Sun. What if a meteoroid is one of these stones which is no longer in the asteroid belt? What is that the big difference? Now we're going to take that they are smaller. And I would also include the other thing. They are smaller. Now they are smaller and broken out. Now, and a meteor. The next thing is a meteor, where we know what it is. A meteor, that is a meteoroid in Earth's atmosphere. Okay. First, there are all these asteroids in the asteroid belt around the Sun. I'm going to show that picture here. I can have a picture. That is the solar system with the Sun there. We have the Sun. And there's Earth. I took also a picture. And all these little stones there. This one here. This is the asteroid belt probably. Now there's the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. So first there are all these stones and rocks in the asteroid belt. And then we have these meteoroids. They are smaller, they are broken out, and they're going now through space. And if such a meteoroid enters the atmosphere of Earth, then they are called meteors. And that one is burning, because as soon as it hits the atmosphere, the friction happens with the asteroid, and it starts to glow and burn. Let's sit here. When meteors collide with Earth millions of times every day, but they're very small. When one enters Earth's atmosphere, it rubs against the air. This friction causes the rock to heat up. Now, a little question aside. The moon doesn't have an atmosphere. Is when the moon hit all the time by millions of meteors? Okay, back to here. Now, and this friction causes it to burn and glow. To heat up. It becomes so hot that it glows. Now that is why that thing here is burning. Okay, a meteor is a meteoroid which had entered Earth's atmosphere. And now the last thing, meteor, now the next thing, meteorite. That is a meteor that hits the ground. Now we have a little problem. My pronunciation is not specific enough to make the difference between meteorite and meteorite. The one is written with a D, the other one with a T. Now let's try them some more able. Meteorite. 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 I could say the I a little harder. Meteorite. 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 No, not. I'm just not able. Oh, that thing just in space is a meteorite. There's a D. And if it hits the Earth, it's a meteorite. There's a T. I can pronounce the T maybe quite hard. Meteorite. Okay, first it's an asteroid. Okay, it's a T, an asteroid. An asteroid, and maybe you can remember it, it has an A. The alphabet starts with ABC. Asteroid. And then if it's just in space, it's smaller, and in space it's a meteoroid. So asteroid and then it's a meteoroid. And if such a meteoroid comes close to Earth in the atmosphere, it's a meteor. Okay, I think that can remember meteor or meteor, but it says an or. That's clear. It sounds as if it goes through the space. Meteor. Now, what did we have here to shooting stars? Yes, the meteors are the shooting stars. These glowing space rocks, the meteorites which had entered the Earth's atmosphere, these glowing space rocks are known as shooting stars, but scientists call them meteors. So meteor, that sounds like a star going through, a shooting star going through the atmosphere. And now if it hits the ground, it's the meteorite, with T. Okay, we're having an asteroid in the asteroid belt. Then we're having one smaller broken out in the space, meteorite. Then in the atmosphere is a shooting star, the meteor, and then if it hits the ground, it's a meteorite. Now, that was enough for space science. If you were here for space science and meteoroids and asteroids, you can go directly to the next video. We have a bit more to asteroids and meteors. So just go to the next part if you're here for space science or asteroids or meteors. We're going to do another ECU 10 training. That is an isolated training just for one single part of our body, for the extensor carpi, ECU, extensor carpi or nearest tendon. It's probably not for everyone, for something, so we'll just go on to through the next part of space science. But if you participate, that is at your own risk. Hold in stable stance, arms, the fists next to us, and we're doing a flat gate. Bring the fists down and hold it. And again, up and hold it. And down. And up. Again down. And the last time. And now we're doing a counterfeit money check. Fists and bring them up. And down. We're having 3 rules. The first rule is that we're stopping immediately as soon as there's pain. Again up. The second rule is that we're going only as fast as we can go with a little bit of effort. Again down. And the last time up. The third rule is that we're not overdoing it. We just want to strengthen, not to exhaust. I'm going to use now a tennis racket. You can use also something else. But the tennis racket is light, just around 300 grams. but it has a long level. So whatever you use, do it in accordance with our 3 rules. We're starting with Manike Neko. Arm in and take the armlet to lower arm and bring it slowly over to one side. And back up. And the last time. Now with long arm out to one side. And back the other side. And the last side. And over the other end. First small arm in, over to one side. And over to the other side. And the last time. And on the floor. And the last time. Next exercise for the harvest order. Take the rigger and up and over and down, and the second time up, over, in and down, and now palm facing upwards. The garbage truck's clever up, over, back, slow, and down, and the second time. And the field. And another time. Another palm facing upwards. And the last time. And we're having the last exercise. You can use a towel, a t-shirt or a sock, and you just press onto it, and then you bring the wrist up and down, again up down and up. Now with the other hand, pressing and then up and down, down, up, and now just press onto it. With the other hand, just press onto it. And that was the ECU tendon training. I thank you very much, and until next time.